Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do that unless we play those three explorative letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Hadoken?
It stands for Exploring Destined Hideaways. That's right, everybody. We're on our way to a new frontier, a new plane, as it may be called. We're going back to Ixalan.
It's so new, we coming back.
I'm a dinosaur. But before we go down that lane, we got to tell people what this is all about. So what are we doing?
We actually, we just showed up here and you told us, get in this room. Don't ask questions. I'm turning a camera on. So what we're going to do today is talk about some of the mechanics and everything in Ixalan. We want to talk about some of our overall thoughts for Lost Caverns, all the new card treatments, the new themes, and some of our favorite cards from the set. Kind of give a high-level overview of what we're feeling so far.
High-level overview. Caves suck without Batman. That's all I'm saying. I didn't find the caves. Well, some of the caves were okay, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make waves in other formats, lesser formats, but I don't care. I'm sorry to jump ahead.
Speaking of Batman, I heard there was a Bat Guide.
There is a Bat Guide.
We get a Bat Guide. We got DC Comics Bat Guide.
All I know is MGK tried to attack him and then went bad.
On that note, okay, so some of the major themes. So similar to last time we were on Ixalan, there's the four kind of major factions that we're going to be looking at. We have the Sun Empire, which have dinosaurs.
We don't praise the sun around here, baby.
Boom.
Hot takes. Okay, we have the Brazen Coalition.
Who's that?
The Coalition.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Chappelle told you that he has a coalition of the willing, and this is what he was talking about.
They got pirates. Now the next one is going to be the Legion of Dusk. Ooh, that sounds spooky.
Is that vampires?
That's them, the vampires.
Oh,
they chew on necks and they suck blood.
What is a pirate's favorite letter? Scurvy. That didn't go to wait. I think I messed it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Then the next one is the River Heralds, the merfolk. You got the fish people running around, being fishy, flopping and stuff.
If you're from Georgia, the River Herald's right next to Lake Lanier, and we don't go to Lake Lanier.
There's a lot of really interesting not new creature types, but interesting creature types here. We got Jaguar folk. Oh, that's a thing. Oh. We got echoes and the fossilized undead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just looks like a
wait, that sounds like zombies with extra steps.
These are skeletons. They brought back skeletons.
Thank you very much, skeleton zombies. Thank you. We got all types of cool traps and stuff. There's fungus running around. Lots of interesting things happening. I'm a big fan of the creature types. The art and flavor in this set is literally just perfect. It's kind of amazing. So if you're into cool looking art and spooky looking creatures, we got stuff here for you. Now, the card mechanics, the new mechanics in this set, we have Descend, which is a new one. Descend cares about how many permanents you have in your graveyard. So something may have Descend 4, and you need to have at least 4 permanents in your graveyard for this ability to trigger.
So Descend is pretty much Termagorth with extra steps. So
it's permanents. The cool thing is it doesn't care about card types necessarily. It's just having permanents there. So they're a little bit more flexible. So if you just have a bunch of lands in your graveyard, if you have creatures or enchantments, art, whatever your theme is, you can make it work with Descend.
Instants and sorceries? No, thank you.
No. Which is great.
I apologize. It's Termagorth with less steps. I apologize.
There we go. Termagorth minus steps. I like it a lot. I feel like we have a lot of instants and sorceries matters in graveyards and a lot of creatures matters in graveyards. Yeah. So getting this nice flexible thing, I love graveyards.
I don't know how I feel about this because this is very susceptible to graveyard hate.
Look. First of all, this is we're going to get to this later, but this is the discard plane.
Yeah. Mill and discard are abundant.
Cards are going to be in graveyard. So we've been preaching it for years. Get your graveyard hate up. This is the set to do it in.
We also have a new mechanic called Discover. And Discover is very similar to Cascade in a way. Where
it's better Cascade from what I hear.
It can be, yeah. So just as an example, if you have Discover X for some ability, it'll say you do some effect. Maybe you exile a card, you do this, and it says Discover X. So you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value that or less.
Yeah, so if it says Discover, right?
Yeah.
Discover 5. You're exiling cards until you hit a CMC that is 5 or less.
That's true. So it's actually better than Cascade in that way because you can hit the same mana value. I guess the big difference is Cascade is a cast effect. This is going to be based on varying effects. This Discover can be a number of different triggers.
Basically, it's Hideaway with extra steps. Sorry, it's Hideaway with less steps. I apologize.
I'm loving the Ken asymptote of card mechanics. Is it more steps or less steps? And it's never the right number.
It's an escalator.
It approaches until infinity.
It's an escalator. It's a step that moves by itself.
It's a stairmaster.
All right, and then the last one is going to be crafting. And I'm going to admit, this might be one of those mechanics I personally skip because there's a lot of words and it hurts my little tiny brain. It doesn't seem that complicated, but basically what crafting is, you craft with something and then you pay some mana value, and then it will tell you very explicitly what you're crafting with.
Yeah.
So for example, if there's a card that says craft with, I think there was one specific card that says like craft with a dinosaur, merfolk, vampire, and pirate, whatever it is, you pay this cost and then exile these cards from your graveyard, correct?
Right.
Or the battlefield, or is it just graveyard?
I believe it says...
Oh, either, yeah, exile another thing you control or something from your graveyard. So either, and you can exile all these things, also pay the mana cost, and it's going to allow you to transform this card for this thing. So you're basically crafting something together with all these different pieces.
Basically, escape with extra steps. This, like you said, this is a very graveyard dependent set. As a matter of fact, one of the co-creators was 2 milli. If you look at the back of each pack, it says you milli rock on every block, because that is the whole purpose, to take cards and put them in your graveyard. We get there, baby. We get there.
Yes, we do. So overall crafting, I think it's interesting. Some of the cards make it seem very complicated. We can get into some of those maybe later in the video, but there are some that care about the cards that were exiled for the crafting cost. It's a cool mechanic. I do think that some of the cards are very wordy. I think in a limited setting, it might get a little complicated once you get used to playing the cards. I like the space it opens up. I think it's going to allow you to do cool things with stuff in your graveyard outside of just like reanimating or things like that. So
you know what?
Like it opens up.
I don't. Well, I'm on the fence, because once it goes to my graveyard, I don't think about it. I don't care anymore. Now I got to actually pay attention. You know those people you play with and they carefully put their cards in a line in their graveyard? I don't know why, but that cheeses my tarts. But every time I see this, I'm like, why are you here? I don't care about your graveyard.
Because it's like, I want to be fair, and I want you to see what's in my graveyard, which I definitely
I'm
understand.
gonna be fair and smite you like the Lord.
I'm sure you never cheese Ken's tarts. That's just good life advice.
Right.
Now, some returning mechanics that we're going to have. Explore is back. So Explore is the one where you look at the top card. If it's a land, you put it to hand. If it's not, you can put it in the graveyard, put a +1 counter on one of your creatures. I think it's a cool mechanic. It helps. It's like a pseudo card advantage that doesn't involve... It's like a pseudo card advantage getting lands, and it doesn't involve treasures. Immediately, I like it. It doesn't say the word treasure, and it does some interesting things.
It's basically surveil with extra steps.
We need a checklist at the end of this where it's just all of the comparisons that Ken has made with more or less steps, because I can't figure out which one is more or less. Now, we also have the dual phase lands, which are back. The most... probably the easiest example is their reprinting Growing Rights of Itlimoc, which is a wonderful reprint, and that's a great example of a card that you play it. There's a lot of cards in the set that transform. Some turn into lands, some turn into creatures. There's a whole lot of cards flipping in all directions in this set, and these dual phase lands are probably some of the best examples of things we've seen in the past.
If you don't know what Growing Rights of Itlimoc is, it's Gaia's Cradle with extra steps. Look here, we're getting there, people.
That's probably the best one that he's done.
That
That
one. Not even gonna fight you.
I give him that one. We also have Caves, which you mentioned, which is a new subtype for lands, which almost like Gates, if y'all are familiar with Gates.
This is an instant fail, because I don't see a Bat Cave on this list. And if there's no Bat Cave, I don't want to be in that universe.
And the two other...
And there's a bat in there, too. All you had to do was put the bat in the cave. Guano, baby. Guano.
And then mix it all up.
But it's just, we just need caves. That's all. We don't need Bat Cave.
Not yet.
Just put an image of a bat in there, and I'll roll with you.
I'll draw one for you.
Okay.
The last two mechanical things to mention are creature lands are back. These are really similar to the ones in that we just saw in
Eldraine.
In the Wilds of Eldraine.
But they're worse.
I think they're interesting. One makes a llama. There's a land that turns into a llama, so that's exciting. And the very last one, obviously, probably the thing that most people are excited about are the gods. There's a new god cycle. One for each color, and they all have these abilities where they turn into lands essentially when they die, and then meeting certain criteria they can flip back. So it's like a cool... I feel like gods all started with just straight up boring indestructible.
Yeah.
To see how far it's come, and then they like evolved to like, oh, they're indestructible, can't attack. Then you had the buggy gods,
or they go back to your hand, or they go third to your library.
All I know is God Tribal is a thing now. Okay,
it's been a thing.
It's always a thing.
Because they have what's the world trees, like basically like the god typal card where you just get everything into play. Yeah. But so the thing I like about these the most is the ability of it to stay around. Like it feels like it's like a godly effect to where you can get rid of it, but the land is like still there. Like it's just lurking and it's just gonna come back and like rebirth itself.
It's like that.
That's super cool.
It's like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I do like that there are certain requirements with these gods. Like, if they go away, then you have to kind of work just a little bit to get them back.
Yes,
a little bit of extra steps, but it makes me feel like we playing Yu-Gi-Oh just a little bit. You got to have some extra steps to get those god cards out there.
It's like that smell in your house that you can't find. Like it's there, and every now and then it resurfaces. But when I find you, I got so much Febreze waiting for you. But yeah, that's what the god cards are like.
Yeah, I love. It's almost like you're paying tribute to those gods themselves to bring them back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, a few other things before we get into some of our favorite cards, because there's a lot going on in this set. There's obviously going to be a new set of commander decks for this, and these are 4 new typal decks that are based on the types based in the set.
Are any of them merfolk related?
Maybe.
Okay, because merfolks are just trash types.
You go. I realize we're in your home, but go home, sir.
I'm just saying, like nobody. I've never met anybody who seriously plays merfolk.
We'll revisit this later.
So we have a merfolk typal deck. We have pirates. We got dinosaurs. We got vampires. These precons look super cool. They honestly seem like they introduced more powerful or / more fun versions of existing archetypes, because with the pirates you get stuff out of your graveyard, so you have recursion for your pirates.
And I think the skeletons are more aligned with the pirates than any other type.
I actually think the best part about the pirate decks is that I don't have to play them.
The merfolk has a new powerful diving deep into explore.
How do you say that with a straight face?
The vampires make demons.
Oh God, the vampires do extra stuff. Okay.
Wait, which type? Oh, dinosaurs.
Yes. All right.
And then we got dinosaurs.
First of all, dinosaurs are boneless. Wingless dragons. Everybody knows this. Okay, you put wings on them, they dragons. All right.
Fun fact: there is a dinosaur dragon in the set.
Unnecessary. That's like a leech vampire. You don't need it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
And then the last things in this set, we do have obviously all the showcase frames and everything like that.
Nobody cares.
Map frames. A lot of the art, I will say, the full arts in this set are beautiful. The art styles and stuff are wonderful. So I think more than a lot of the full arts and stuff like that is just the same art, just stretched. These have like some really beautiful art styles for them. So
I will say the stone idol altars that they have, the kind of the ones that look like the symbols and stuff.
Yeah,
those look amazing.
Yeah, there's some very beautiful cards, and then they really seem to have pushed this thing of forcing reprints in a good way into sets that probably wouldn't be there otherwise. So you have the treasure trove, you get box toppers with some really nice reprints. There's the special guests, so these are cards that are not in this set but you can find in packs. That you can get the non-foil and set boosters, and then you get the fancy ones and collectors. These are just really good reprints mixed in, and then obviously they got that like neon ink thing that's back with mana crypts and cavernous souls and all types of crazy stuff.
Also, with every pack that you open, there's a chance that you ain't gonna open nothing. So there's always that to look forward to too. Like you could just open some straight trash, and that's always a pleasure in doing pack openings, knowing that hey, most of them are not gonna be.
That's how it works for us. It's like you watch somebody else open it. They got neon ink mana crypt with like 12 Gaia's cradles. We open a pack and it's like dust with 3 tokens inside.
Let me cook for 2 seconds. I know half of y'all who do pack openings is lying. You are a bunch of liars, because I saw one person open a pack and 4 mythics fell out. I was like, how you have 50 cards in that one pack in the first place? All right. Second of all, you have 2 of the same mythics, and then you just opened $500 in one pack. You are a liar.
Wasn't it the original, like they had like god packs back? I think it was original Zendikar where you can open like a dual land or something in your regular booster.
I don't know. I don't crack packs.
I wasn't playing at the time.
I buy singles.
Yeah, as a wise man once said, something about reading, explaining, and buying singles.
Yeah.
That's what I learned in school.
Only packs I crack come in 6.
Let's go and talk about some of our favorite cards. So I guess overall thoughts on the set we'll get to after this. We want to talk about we'll start with some of our favorite legends. So each of us kind of picked a legendary creature that really got us excited so far about this set. And we want to talk about who our favorite legend is. We're going to go ahead and start with Ken. And you tell us who your favorite legendary creature is.
Okay, I'm going to be real basic like the rest of them and choose a mythic, because when I saw this card, I had to change my underwear twice. 2 or 3 times. It depends. Anyway, so the creature I chose is Deepest Foundation. I'm going to butcher the first name, so I'm just going to call it Deepest Foundation. It is the
white guy.
It is the mythic god. All right. triples your tokens. Your creature
you say
token.
triple?
Triple. It triples them. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Hold up.
Celestia just got a new best. Hold wait. I need everybody to be quiet. Stuff is happening. Okay.
When you start using the word triple in Magic,
I need. Okay. Celestia got new best friends because not only do we have Anointed Procession, not only do we have Parallel Lives, not only do we have Doubling Seasons, not only do we have Kaya that also does this and with her negative ability, but we also have Deepest Foundation. This just broke. At this point, you gonna play one creature and just
explode.
I have a hot take. I don't think this card is that great.
Triples tokens, huh?
The thing is, it specifies. So one of the things I've noticed with the token doublers that make them the most broken is that people start doubling their treasures. They start doubling their enchant. This specifies creatures. So there's a lot of the token doublers that are going to get run over this because they're lower mana value. But more importantly, I feel like most of the times when I'm playing against a token doubler and I want to just scoop, it's because they're doing treasures and enchantments and doubling these other artifacts. I feel like, and I actually love this card because of it. Because it only says creatures, it makes it a much more fun card to play against.
It's a lot more narrow.
Which makes it more fun to play against because you know that, like, okay, I'm fighting an army of creatures and it's about to get crazy. I have a turn to respond or I might be dead.
I'm gonna need.
Whereas, like, if you double everything, it just starts getting annoying to deal with.
I'll just know that the flavor text on this card is what captures me the most. If we read at the bottom, it says, get out your car and get ran over. That's what it says verbatim. And that's exactly what's going to happen when I slide this into a Reese deck because we about to get bananas. APPLE, bananas.
Okay.
I learned how to spell today. So what do you got? What's your favorite legendary creature?
Cool. There's a lot of good legends in here. So many. I kind of just picked the one. First thing that kind of came to my mind because this is a strategy that I used to use when I used to play these colors. But
turn sideways. Oh, how inventive.
Turn sideways with a lot. So this is actually pairs with the Deepest Foundation, maybe. But we'll see. Anam Paco. Are you serious? Thousandth Moon.
That's a name. That's a lot of moon. That's a bar. That's a
thousand. The th.
You gotta,
the thousandth one.
The th is silent and deadly.
Forget all 999 other moons.
We don't care about that.
No. This is the one. All right. So what my homie does when you attack with one or more non-gnome creatures, because gnomes are creature types. Not only this set, but I found that there's been gnomes all printed out through Magic, but they're definitely showing up here. Whenever you attack with one or more non-gnome creatures, put a 1/1 counter on Thousandth Moon and create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is this creature's where X is the number of 1/1 counters on this creature.
So it's Grenzo with extra steps.
It's just Grenzo. It's Grenzo in 2 colors. So this is very similar to cards, the couple I used to play in Theros. I'll put them up on the screen, but it's actually the exact same colors. Essentially, the strategy was whenever that card was targeted with the heroic, you spread the love to the team and whatnot. So essentially, what they're doing is you're creating like an army based on the number 1/1 counters that Thousandth Moon has. So you kind of just focus target on your commander in this way and just get it big, get it buff real quick, and that's you're flooding the board with an army.
Is Thousandth Moon a gnome?
No. It's human soldier, but spits out gnomes.
It's cool with the gnomes.
Why does it
rolls with the gnomes?
Why does it care about gnomes?
Gnomes are all over the set.
Yeah,
they're actually a little cute. They're like little constructs a little bit, but they have the whole the flavor with what the set is going on. So they're like little temple, little guardians or whatnot or something.
Gnomes are saplings with extra steps.
Okay, sure. What you got, Derek?
Confusion. I'm putting confusion on the stack and it will resolve with split second. I got a basic answer, but I'm in love with this card. It's the Mot Tyrant. So the Mot Tyrant is the elder fungus of the set. It's just a great sentence to say. It is 1 a black and a green for a star creature with trample. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control that are either fungi or saplings or saplings. Ooh. Then at the beginning of your end step, you create X 1/1 black fungus creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the number of times you descended this turn. And you have to remember, you descend each time a permanent card is put into your graveyard from anywhere. So if you get to milling yourself and getting stuff, or you're just sacrificing a bunch of stuff and you're descending a whole bunch, you track that On your end step, this Mot Tyrant is going to go from like a 1/1 or a 2/2 to like a 12/12 with trample. And then as that kind of spirals, this is the type of deck where I feel like you're going to want reshuffle effects, trying to mill all your stuff, reshuffle again, mill all your stuff. End up with just a whole army of Saproings and then just a gigantic Mot Tyrant that's trying to backhand somebody.
So Gaia's blessing and all that good stuff. Why do people hang out with the Mot Tyrant? Because it's a fun guy. Anyway.
The good thing is spasms will work.
Oh, the spasms are. This is what I've been waiting for. I can run the spasm in here. The thing I love about this card specifically, though, is a lot of graveyard decks I run, and there's a lot of those, care about leaving things in your graveyard. This doesn't care if you reshuffle, so it's sustainable. A lot of the graveyard decks I've played, you do this big turn, you mill a bunch of cards. Someone exiles your graveyard, your deck is finished. This is the type of thing where you want to keep reshuffling and milling and reshuffling and sacking things. And just at that end step, get that descended trigger as big as it can be. And then you just have this giant fungus to punch people with. This is a deck 100% that I'm trying to like sleeve up ASAP and get like a testable game plan on because it looks super fun.
I think the most disgusting thing about this card is that you chose a mythic. How dare you?
Anyway, right, next we're going to go to what do we think the most powerful card in the set is. So what is a card that stuck out for us that just seems busted, broken, and we're like, why was this printed?
Okay.
So yeah, Cam, we'll throw it to you.
Okay. Breaches. Woo! Eager pillager. I had to be careful with that word.
Hi, Granddad.
Jesus. We almost got put off YouTube. Anyway, Breaches is a pirate because he cares all about that booty. Anyway, whenever you attack him, you get to choose one of these three things. Either a treasure token that hasn't been chosen this turn.
Right.
Treasure token, target creature can't block, and exile the top card of a library, and you can play it. So not only it's card advantage, it's also evasion, and on top of that, you can also ramp in red, which is very, very beautiful, by the way.
Does it care about the number of pirates attacking, or just if a pirate attacks?
When a pirate you control attacks.
So if you attack with three pirates,
you can do all three.
That's very good.
Boom.
I mean, we all know from playing, if you've ever played a Ragavan in Commander before, the ability to get a treasure and get card advantage by exiling a card is crazy powerful. Obviously, this costs a couple more mana, but the fact that you can get multiple, yeah, I like that.
I'm just saying, man, these breaches be tripping.
All right, we're gonna move on.
All right,
over to Zed. What is your most powerful?
I'm gonna talk about Vampire Demons because they're back. My boy Xander started a trend, and
Xander was a vampire demon pimp. Okay,
yeah, he was. They just left the subtype off of there. So we got Vampire Demons is back. We got Bloodletter of Aclazalts. All right, this is a flying 2/4. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much instead. This is a 4-drop creature.
Oh,
that
my
says,
God.
This is yeah, you lose double the life during your turn. I don't have to hit you. I can just drain you. And guess what? You'll still lose twice that much life.
Oh.
I
So
mean,
it loses like the political things of like a wound reflection.
Yeah, it's basically
But
one
it's-
reflection on a creature.
Oh my gosh.
It's one reflection with extra steps.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to wait until the end step.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Is you don't have to wait for the trigger. It's wow.
Yeah, you lose 2, you lose in 4.
It's kind of cute though.
You lose 10, you lose in 20. Oh my God.
Soren. And not that
Negative-
Soren was bad before, but
Cut the feed.
I've never heard Ken make that noise before.
I was like, Soren. Which Soren? Oh, that Soren. Oh, that one.
No, you go to 10, Soren.
You lose.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get into that is busted. I'm gonna go ahead and get into what I think is one of the more powerful cards in the set. This card, I had to read it like multiple times. It seems completely broken. It is Bone Horde Dracosaur. So this is the dinosaur dragon. It's 5 mana, 3 red for a flying first strike 5/5.
Is that a mythic?
This, I believe so. It is just, it's so busted. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So it's already got the impulse draw. But that's not enough. If you exile a land card this way, you get a 3/1 dinosaur creature token. You don't exile at the end of turn. You don't sack it. You just have a 3/1 because you had a land on top. If you exile any non-land, you create a treasure. So at the beginning of every turn, you're basically drawing 2 cards, and then either getting 2 3/1s or some combinations of a 3/1 and a treasure.
Your girl, the werewolf deck you got.
Wolf Lady will love Falor.
Yeah.
Will absolutely love this. The thing is insane. You put this in any red deck because it feels like you get the card advantage that red wants, but the fact that it ramps you and builds a board, I feel like with most of these effects, it's either you get a token until end of turn, or it's conditional in the sense of you need to hit something specific. It's like, oh, you hit a land, you get a treasure. Oh, you hit a creature, you get this. No matter what you hit, land, non-land, you're getting something impactful. And it's a 5-mana 5/5 flying first strike on top of it. This thing seems like it is just over. Like, this is the first card I read in the set that I was like, that seems a bit much. Like, I feel like we'll just be seeing this constantly in any deck with red. All right, so next we want to get into some of the sleepers in this set. So the commons, uncommons, stuff that you might just have in like a draft chaff box that actually might have some use if you actually go ahead and slot them in. So, Ken, we're going to start you off. What is a sleeper you think that is going to stand out for you in the set?
So one of the sleepers is actually a land for me. It's called Violation Vault. And
Wait, what? That's so, well, hold up.
Hold up.
it's called Volatile Vault. And basically what it does, it's a cave. I know I said all caves suck, it's up the back cave. Well, basically what it does is you sacrifice it and you destroy non-basic lands, and then that person gonna get a land and you also get a treasure. Now, I love this because there's a bunch of synergies with ETBs of treasures. There's also treasure doublers in this in a bunch of these sets as well. So you can actually net more mana than you actually get.
That's true. That's true.
And there might just be some douchers in your play group that play like Gaia's Cradle. I don't know who would do that. Or like Cabal Coffers in every deck. Whoever would do that. Or like Field of the Dead in every deck. No one would ever do that. So I feel like it used to be back in the day where strip mines and, wastelands were expensive because they were like, harder to get.
Yeah, back when I paid all that money for them, but now they're 10 cents.
Well, no, they're still relatively expensive, but there's so many cheap versions. Like you can get Ghost Quarters and volatile vaults and all these things. They're going to be like 10-cent cards. So there's no excuse not to have like 2 or 3 targeted land destruction spells because you got the MDFCs. You got Growing Rights running around, all these gods that now flip into lands. Like, It's gotten to the point now there's no excuse not to have targeted lands. So I love it. Normally, I would try to tell you you're objectively wrong, but I can't right now.
Yeah, Ghost Quarter is your strip bar with extra steps.
Add that to the list. Said, what is your sleeper?
Right. Well, since you're over there making treasure tokens, I'm going to destroy your treasure tokens with this sleeper.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters going to hate.
And
All
Tater's going to potate.
I'm sorry, what?
So anyway, this is a 2-drop creature. It's a Dauntless Dismantler. I love the alliteration. But essentially, your artifacts that your opponents control enter the battlefield tippity tapped.
I love the art on that card because it's like everybody that I know in their house, if a ghost try to come in, not in my house.
Not in my house.
You want to put that old creaky chair? Not in my house.
Bringing in that haunted chest?
Not in my house.
Nuh-uh. All right, so not only are your artifacts going to be coming in tapped, I read the second line to this. You can pay X white. Normally I hate double X spells, but this time X is about to give it to you because you can pay XX white, sacrifice Dauntless Dismantler, and destroy each artifact with mana value X. So,
hey, what's the mana value of a treasure? 3. So that card is a flavor fail.
Yeah.
So you know what to do with this. You know what the actual mana cost of treasure tokens are. They're 0. So put 0 into this thing. Get the board of all these treasure tokens out of here. Take that. Who's the red one that comes in and just makes all the treasures?
Oh, Dockside.
Take that Dockside Exorcist.
That's a card I want to see.
Not in my house.
On top of that too, it hits artifact lands.
Oh yeah.
Because it says destroy each artifact with mana value 0.
You know the best part about artifact lands? They indestructible. So take your best shot.
All right, this is for you, Brayer players.
It's a warning
coming after you.
I took that personally.
All right, I'm gonna close it out with the card I think is a sleeper. So it feels like in every set now, there's a common or uncommon land that taps for multiple colors, where it'll be like, oh, it comes in tap, choose a color. Comes in tap, gain a life. All these and generally they're bad. They're just not very good. You're not gonna play them in any deck. But this one caught my attention a little bit. That might have some uses if you have a play group that abuses the graveyard. So it's called Pit of Offerings. It's also a cave. It enters tapped, but when it enters the battlefield, you exile up to 3 target cards from any graveyards. Up to 3 from any graveyard. It always taps for a colorless, but it also taps for 1 mana of any of the exiled card's colors.
It's a Chrome Mox with extra steps.
So if you're sitting at a table and you got players playing all types of colors, and you can, if you want a color fix for yourself and you're milling yourself, exile your own stuff. You can get all your colors. It's basically like a tri-land if you're in a 3 or 4 color deck, which is already pretty good. But what makes it really interesting is if you're at a table with people playing a bunch of colors, you can exile some of their key pieces and potentially have like a 3 or 4 or 5 color land on this.
Yeah, let me see that.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wait, hold up.
Exile up to 3 target cards from graveyards. Add 1 mana of any of the exile cards color. You can exile one card that has like
5 colors or 3,
or 5 colors. Yeah,
Yeah,
You just need one target.
You can get creative with it. So if you only need a certain color, you can exile, and then you can hit lands. You can hit whatever with the 3 cards you exile. So it's targeted graveyard hate, which is great.
Wait,
Color fixing.
It's a flip card too.
No,
It flips into failure. That's exactly what it flips into, because nobody cares about that.
I'm rocking with you.
How'd you feel?
Thank you.
How'd you feel walking into that bus?
So what is everybody's overall thoughts? We're gonna close it out. Overall thoughts with the mechanics, the art, everything like that. How are you feeling going into Lost Caverns of Ixalan?
I'm gonna take this from a new player perspective. I'm trying to put my new player goggles on. This would be a bit overwhelming for me if I was stepping in right now. I gotta be honest. With all the words on the mechanics, because it's new for us as players who've been playing for a while, and we got to read all of that just to make sure that we're doing it right. Imagine a new player coming in. It looks pretty, but I don't know. It's a lot of, not that there's a lot of reading. It's just that there's a lot going on and a lot to keep track of.
Like a lot of these like flavor, a lot of these mechanics are a bit like puzzling to get into.
I do agree. I think it does seem like a mechanically complex set at first glance, just because, like you said, for us being people that spend way too much time on Magic, having to read things 2-3 times over, trying to figure out with Discover, like what's the difference between that and Cascade, like making sure we're reading it right, or with Craft, making sure you're exiling things from the right place and getting all these and like tracking where they come from and all these things. So I do agree. I think it's a very mechanically complex set. I do enjoy, so like, for example, if this is your first draft or first sealed event, good luck. It does seem like it would be something you'd have to prepare for. I do enjoy, as a commander player, getting to pick and choose stuff. So not having to worry about the limited environment, not having to worry about like learning new mechanics. Because look, we're commander players. We don't know the rules. We just pick things that look cool and throw them in our decks. I really like,
screw the rules. I got money.
Like what? Who needs to read? That's overrated. I just want to put a big creature in punchy. I really like the art, and I like the kind of the cherry picking of really fun commander cards in the set. It's a really good point. I am curious to see how this set is for newer players. I think it's going to pull a lot of newer players in, because like, who doesn't love dinosaurs, vampires, and pirates? Like, I really can't think of anybody who like doesn't know Magic that has at some point didn't love one of those 3 things. And even some merfolk lovers out there.
I was about to say, I love the fact you didn't say merfolk.
I just wasn't even trying to get you. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, the amount of effort put in to make this like accurate, as far as from a lot of the cultural inspiration from Mexico and different regions of like Central America and everything like that. Yeah. That type of stuff I think is going to bring a lot of people in, but you're right. The mechanics, are they too wordy? Are they too complicated to get those new players? That'll be a really interesting thing to see. But yeah, as a commander player, I'm excited. I just think we're getting, between the reprints and the new cards, everything seems to be in that happy spot where there's a lot of strong stuff, but I don't see a lot of like fierce guardianships and dock sides and stuff that I'm just gonna groan every time I see. That's a whole different thing. Does anybody else have any closing thoughts?
To quote the great Fry from Futurama, "Shut up and take my money."
It's just having said that. Yeah, it's basically yes.
The best thing about this set is, and this is for lesser, I'm gonna speak to lesser formats for the first time ever, because Cavern of Souls got reprinted. And you know what that means? Shut up, Blue. You ain't doing nothing, because you ain't countering nothing. You know that spell that says no, you get no now, you punk. That's right. I'm looking at you, Blue player, who says I can't have any fun.
Use our referral link on screen in the comments and everywhere else, please. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite sleepers or powerful cards and legendaries. what is something that's really standing out to you for this set?
And also tell us how screwed Blue is now that Cavern of Souls has been reprinted. That's right. It's gonna be, you look awful tight with, oh, you have 3 mana up. Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna cast this creature and then look at you like you stupid, like you wearing jeggings in Georgia. But yeah, I don't even know what a jegging is.